Aaron was gonna do like for his backlog picks. I seen when he put in the doc, he had Link's Awakening DX, and I was like, "Fuck you! You already started that."
Yeah. In my backlog picks, I have Super Mario World.
I have these 2 games that I'm 90% done.
Yeah. I try to pull shit like that too. Like I'm in some game clubs in like Discord servers, and like sometimes they'll be like, Dave, you get to nominate a game. I'm like, well, what am I playing for Tales from the Backlog right now? I can nominate this. Make everybody play along with me. And then I can show up 2 months later like, hey, remember that game we all played together? Here's a podcast. And it's
yeah. That's perfect.
Yeah.
a peek behind the curtain.
Yeah.
It's time to
Hey, I'm Gerry.
Hey, I'm Aaron. And this is Retro Rehab.
Welcome back to the greatest collaboration of all time. I know it, you know it. Aaron, you know it. I know it. Aaron, pretty sure you know it though, right?
I knew it. Then I forgot it, but I remembered it. Yeah.
But now you remember it.
Yeah.
Now you know. We are back, baby. This is your regular programming back in action. And boy, do we have a show for you today. Today, we are going to be talking about the first Metal Gear Solid for the PlayStation or the GameCube, however you want to play that one. But just the first in the series of Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah.
Aaron, you mentioned that you don't have a lot of experience.
Like barely any. I know Psycho Mantis.
I would hope so.
I think that's it, honestly.
But you're gonna do fine, buddy. I believe in you.
Okay,
I think you're gonna be just fine.
Okay.
The story is very coherent and not complicated at all.
Beautiful. Love it. I'm on board.
But you know, I thought we might be able to do this alone, but then I was like, I think we need some backup here. So of course, in Retro Rehab style, we made a deal with the devil, and we summoned a real Metal Gear sicko to come on here and assist us in talking about Metal Gear, because honestly, I'm going to need assistance on the story. I would hope that this deal works out in our favor, because I know like surface level shit of Metal Gear. I'm not like, I don't know the deep dive, but some people are like really into it. So coming on to Retro Rehab for the first time, the master of backlogs, and I would say probably maybe the master of butt rock too. I think you're a butt rock aficionado.
Oh yeah.
And also the master of making top 3 lists. I am very excited to have our guest on here for the first time. Please welcome Dave Jackson.
What's up, guys? Thank you for inviting me on. And I am the master of backlogs. I'm the master of butt rock. I'm the master of butts. And I'm the master of rocks.
Ooh.
And top 3 lists. So if we have time later, you want to do top 3 butts, top 3 rocks, top 3 butt rock bands, anything like that.
I'll take you on for top 3 rocks, man.
Yeah.
Do you own all the rocks in the world?
I don't have all the rocks, but I'm familiar. I can talk. I can talk.
I know
rocks.
too. I know like Dwayne the Johnson, and I know that Newfoundland is called The Rock. That's it.
Yeah. And there's
and
Rock,
then the movie The Rock.
What's the Sean Connery movie?
Right?
There's all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Like Alcatraz is The Rock as well.
Plymouth Rock.
If
we refer to that as The Rock. Oh, okay.
I mean, if we're gonna rank the top
Hard
3
Rock
rocks,
Cafe.
Yeah, Hard Rock Cafe. Yep.
I've heard a thing or two about this rock and roll as well.
The School of Hard Knocks. No, Hard Rocks. No.
School of Rock.
School of Rock.
That's what I was getting at. I'm stupid. Sorry.
So, Dave, please go ahead and plug and promote everything that you are doing or gonna do, or everything you've ever done.
Sure. Yeah.
Including rocks.
Things that I do right now. Yeah, I'm the host of Tales from the Backlog, and that is a weekly backlog gaming deep dive review analysis podcast. Every episode is an episode about one specific game. It's always me with a guest. Gerry's been on the show a few times. Aaron's been on the show a few times. all basically like the whole Retro Rehab circle, most of the people I've ever heard on this show and on SuperPod Saga, like we're all one big happy family.
Oh yeah.
Lots of them have been on my show too. But every episode of that is one specific game in detail, doing an analysis, a review of it. We go no spoilers for a while, and then we warn people when spoilers are starting, so you can jump out if you don't want to be spoiled. Then after that, we do like the story talk. So Gerry was most recently on the show. We did the Resident Evil 2 remake along with Nick from Friday Night Gamecast. Good episode. And then Aaron was recently on when we talked about Pizza Tower, which was another really fun episode.
Fuck yeah.
It was, yeah.
Awesome game too.
So good.
Yeah, so that's Tales from the Backlog. And then I have another show called a Top 3 podcast where we do top 3 lists. It's a much simpler pitch. If you like lists, that's your show.
Or rocks or butts. I mean, you can go there for anything, really.
Mm-hmm.
Your one-stop
Awesome.
shop for all things rocks and butts.
Right, yeah, rocks and or butts. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, I'm happy that you're on here today with us, dude.
Yeah, good to talk with you guys.
Yep, it's always a good time. I would first like to get in before we get into our topic, because we're gonna get into some weeds here with Metal Gear.
We're gonna get it. We're gonna do some weed. We're gonna get into the weeds.
We're gonna
and
do some
weed.
heroin. We're gonna do the fentanyl flop and just like fucking
Ooh.
get into the Metal Gear.
Mm-hmm.
But first, Aaron, there's gotta be no way that there's news with Retro, right? There's never anything happening new with Retro. Or
Never,
is there?
except for today.
Oh,
One time only. Here on QVC. Yeah, the Mega Man 8 or Mega Man X8 remake by Allison DePaz looks really, really awesome.
Have you guys seen this thing?
I have not. What was Mega Man X8 on to begin with?
A dumpster fire. It was not great. It's not bad, but it was on PS2. And it was like sort of like Mega Man X7 is considered like really bad. I'm a Mega Man fanboy, so like I can find things I like about it, but it is not a good game. Mega Man X8 was kind of like slight redemption of that, but it was still like kind of panned a lot by fans. This demake is literally taking, I think they used Mega Man X3's engine from Super Nintendo, and they just made Mega Man X into a Mega Man X game that would have been on Super Nintendo.
Sick.
And I played it before it was like the full release, and I was like shocked by how fucking good this thing was. So shout out to, I'm probably gonna butcher this, but shout out to Allison DePaz.
I said Paz, damn it.
DePaz. I think everybody that is a Mega Man fan needs to check this out. Unfortunately, it is only on PC. The majority of people that I know have a PC.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, if you don't, that's fine too.
I'm sure most
maybe-
PCs could run it though. Like it's
it's
demade into pixel art, so it shouldn't be too intensive.
Yeah. I think you could probably play this on like a 2001 MacBook.
Like the original version of X8 is probably harder to run than the demake. To be
Oh
fair.
yeah. Oh yeah. This
And
is
all
like
of
a
it-
Super Nintendo ROM.
All of its weird 3D Mega Man PS2 glory.
Yep. But no, it's super, super good. Really well done. It's really difficult. Like, as somebody that I pride myself in thinking that I'm pretty damn good at Mega Man games, it's hard. Like, this is coming from somebody that's good at these games. It's fucking hard. But I like that. I like a good challenge.
I too like hard things.
Do you fuck with a Mega Man?
No, I don't really like Mega Man. So you could say I fuck with Mega Man by having him die repeatedly, and then I get mad and turn the game off. But I've only played of like the classic Mega Men. I've only played Mega Man 2 then Mega Man X. Those are the only two I've played, and I don't like either one of them that much. The music's great though, so like
Yeah,
I bet the music's good in Mega Man X8, but I'm not playing this. It's not my bag, baby.
I bet you would like Legend though, like Mega Man Legend or Legend 2.
Yeah,
Dude,
Legend's different.
I remember like growing up reading Nintendo Power or some other magazine and just reading, because it was Mega Man 64. It must have been Nintendo Power because it was Mega Man 64. And I remember just like looking at that being like, that looks so cool. I'll never get a chance to play it, even though I owned an N64 and my parents would buy me a game if I asked them for it. I don't know why I had this thing in my head where I was like, I'll never get to play that game. I don't know. I don't know why there's like a block. Anyway, I once wanted to play that. I'd be open to trying it. And I liked Mega Man Battle Network, so that's a Mega Man thing.
Yeah.
It is.
That is
Legends is
that
really
is a
cool.
man.
It's got a lot of charm.
Yeah.
It's
a lot of
pretty
jacking
Mega
in,
Man.
jacking out in that game.
Hell yeah.
Sounds like a typical Friday night for me.
Speaking of jacking out, there's more drama in the FPGA community.
I just caught this morning, dude. So we've been doing some training in the office for Sharp branded products and all that shit. But I was just scrolling through my phone. We had a break. I was scrolling through my phone and I saw this article about more drama in the FPGA community, and I was like, "There's drama in this community." And then I read through the whole article and I was like, "Okay, yeah, that's pretty shitty."
What is FPGA?
Yeah, it's pretty much just
Hit him, Jerry.
Oh god.
Here, let me look it up.
We need to get Jamie on like a line just to be like, hey, we got another person asking what FPGA
So
is. Can you give them the
It stands for Field Programmable Gate Array, but it's basically, from what Jerry's told me, it's like it's emulation down to like the hardware level, right?
Okay.
Or is it further than that?
Yes. So it's the some people get mad when you don't explain this properly, but essentially it's emulating not the games, but it's emulating the consoles. So the games have like perfect like replication. Like there's no, it's kind of like it's emulation, but it's not. So the thing looks like a little Raspberry Pi, but it plays from Gen 1 all the way up to and including PS1 and 64 and Saturn.
Okay.
And like flawlessly. And then it also has like a bunch of arcade games, which this is what this is about. So Yotego, he is one of the developers with a lot of these arcade cores. So essentially what happens is, you know, I don't know if you've ever fucked with like arcade ROMs and stuff on like MAME, but like that's a completely different thing. Like you download the ROM itself and then you play it. What this dude is doing is he's actually creating a specific core just for that game, because essentially every arcade game was its own core.
Yeah.
So this guy is like decompiling it or whatever the fuck they do. They're black magic behind closed doors. But he has a Patreon, so like when he puts out a beta for a new game to be tested, like it's behind a paywall. And then this other guy was like just kind of like calling him out for gatekeeping and saying like, oh, like you're holding back on people and you just want like more subscriptions and shit like that. But as far as drama
He's got
goes,
a lot of Patreon
like,
subscribers, dude. This dude gets roughly $36,000 a month from Patreon.
Yeah, which is
not bad.
He's good at what he does. Like,
Not bad.
When those
I'll just go ahead and say I wouldn't turn my nose up at $36,000 per month. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Oh
yeah. Yeah, dude. Yeah, if I was like, hey, Dave, how about you quit all your podcasts and come work for me $36,000 a month? You're gonna be like, I don't care what it is. I'm gonna do.
Yeah, I'm inside your house right now. Let's get started.
Yeah. As long as there's rocks, I don't.
What are we
give
doing?
a
We doing a podcast? Nah, dude. You're just gonna clean our toilets once a week. I need you to live in the basement. You're gonna cook for us.
That's fine. I
mean, that would be a pretty good gig for $36,000.
I was gonna say. I hope you like. I hope you like frozen Trader Joe's meals.
Oh, I've never had one before. Let's go, man. I'm ready for that.
Dave's just like tricking us, being like, do you like your finely cooked steak dinner? And we're like, this is amazing, Dave. We're like, how did you learn to cook like this? He's like,
never tell my secret. Yeah.
Just a fucking freezer full of Trader Joe's.
Your beef stroganoff, sir.
Yeah.
Speaking of stroganoff,
Jesus Christ. Yep. Yeah, stroganoff. The director behind the Dreamcast cult classic RPG, I have never known how this is
I
properly
think it's just
pronounced,
Sega.
and I don't even know if you guys...
I'm
Sega
very
Gaga?
certain.
Sega Gaga. Yeah, it's like Sega Gaga. Gaga.
Sega Gaga Giggle.
Sega with Gaga. Yeah, it's just Sega and
Game
Lady
where
Gaga.
you fight Samba de Amigo.
Yeah, it's like a mashup of like a bunch of Sega characters, but like it's an RPG. Yeah. Apparently, the director of that game wants to translate
it
now,
dude.
After all these years. I've been seeing this game for years and being like, when is somebody going to translate this? Like, this looks so cool, and there's never been anything. So it's wild that the actual director of the game is like, kind of want to bring it back.
Yeah, I feel like most games with like any kind of like real demand have gotten a fan translation by this point. What, like 20 years later, right? So
except for Dragon Quest 4 on the PS1, we'll never get that. I feel like.
Yeah, no. What's up with that? Why does that not have a translate? Like, that blows my mind. That there's
not
like,
enough demand, because I mean, like Dragon Quest.
Dude, there's a translation of that Dragon Quest 5 on
PS2.
PS2.
It's on the PS2, man. Everybody's like, dude, let me see what the fuck that shit's like. But Dragon Quest 4 on the PS1, I think the graphics for that game are the same as the one that's on DS, because like 7 on PS1 used the same graphic style as well.
Question for you guys about Sega Gaga. Can I beat the shit out of Sonic in turn-based combat? Is that what this game is?
Probably. I mean, there's Samba de Amigo.
I would imagine Sonic is...
I saw the screenshot of Samba de Amigo, and that's very funny. But I need to beat the shit out of Sonic and or Shadow in turn-based combat.
I'm Googling it right now.
I mean, I'm looking at a screenshot right now of like Sonic in like a situation.
Yeah. Where the screen is like red.
So yeah, that one. So like, I think, Dave, there's a good to fair chance that you can beat the shit out of Sonic in turn,
or beat the shit out of other people with Sonic, possibly.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's like a.
I don't want to play as Sonic. I want to fight
yeah,
against Sonic. It's time.
You want to beat the shit out of Sonic.
Dave, this is not the game for you.
It's actually the opposite game for me. No, I was thinking earlier today, like, take any franchise, make a tactics game, and just give it to me. I don't care what the franchise is. So like Sonic Tactics, I would try that.
I would too.
Are you excited about that? What's it called? Metal Slug Tactics.
Like, it's a tactics game. I don't really care about Metal Slug, but I will play a tactics game. Samba de Amigo Tactics. I'll take that. Trying to think of other Rocket Knight Adventures Tactics. Just trying to think of other Sega games. Give me all that stuff. I'm in.
Yeah, I've never been like too into tactics, but recently I've gotten a little bit more into them. But this turn-based stuff is right up my keister.
Yeah.
And then there's one more translation, a Dreamcast game. Finally, after all these years of fans just clamoring for this thing, Birdcage of Horrors, or Aaron, the Japanese name is
Grauen no Torikago, I think.
There you go.
Grauen no Torikago, I think.
Wait, Dave, don't you? I think was it you that was.
No, that's Rick and
Japanese?
Dre.
Yeah, Rick and Dre.
And
yeah,
Phil.
Not me.
And Phil.
Oh, yeah. I wish. I mean, I could, I guess. There's nothing stopping me, other than maybe I'm a little too stupid.
Is
for
this
it.
is this an FMV game?
I think
it looks like it.
I think it's literally just a movie.
I think, dude.
Like, I don't think it's interactive. Like, I don't think there's anything interactive about this. It's just a movie that was only for Dreamcast.
Okay.
Like, I'm pretty sure.
I can't find any.
Okay,
like...
so it's the tweet I found about it says 6-disc horror film, Birdcage of Horrors, released for the Sega Dreamcast.
6-disc. How fat is this case, man?
Exactly. Yeah.
I feel like I want to watch this thing just to say that I did. Just to see what it actually is.
Guess what I'm going to pick from your
went
backlogs.
Grauen no Torikago.
I don't know. There's something appealing about this. The fact that somebody went out of their way to translate this game. Like, this is the one that were like, you know what needs a fucking translation, boys? A fucking Birdcage.
This is
of
what I'm
Horrors
saying with
needs a translation.
Sega Gaga, like this 6-disc horror movie, not even a game from what we can tell, right? Gets a translation before whatever the Dragon Quest game you mentioned, before the game where you get to beat up Samba de Amigo in turn-based combat. Like, I feel like anything with any hint of demand gets a fan translation. So I'm really surprised when I hear of something that didn't.
Ooh,
Yeah, it's strange.
I found an image of a just like a stack of the different discs for this game. Spoiler alert, it's boring. They all look the same. They just have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
But that's it. That's all the news. That's every bit of news that you could ever want on this day.
That's it. Stop asking us.
Because, yeah. We have no more news to share with you.
No more?
Which, this is perfect, though, because this brings us to our topic. This is where we get to talk about Metal Gear Solid.
Metal Gear.
And, yup. Now, before we do this, though, Dave, there's something that we ask all of our guests, just so that the listeners, if they don't know who you are, maybe they can get a little bit more of a connection with you, an understanding of what makes Dave
What's your favorite
tick.
element in the
And the question that we always ask everybody.
Boron.
No, it's not that.
That's a good one.
Boron? That's
Boron's
a good one.
Cool. I fuck with
I feel like
Boron.
you can name a kid that.
That's the name of my butt rock band.
Say more of a lithium guy. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway.
Yep.
So the question is, what is your favorite video game memory?
Okay, so I've had 5 seconds to think of this. And since this is a retro show, I'll go with a retro memory. So when me and my brother were kids, we had a GameCube, and we had a little hidden gem on the GameCube called Super Smash Brothers Melee that listeners may or may not have heard of. Just so we're on the same page here, Super Smash Brothers Melee. What you can do in Super Smash Brothers, in case people don't know, is you can take
Smash
Nintendo
with your
characters.
brothers.
Yeah, you smash your brothers with rocks and butts and everything like that. But instead of your brothers, it's Mario and Yoshi and Pikachu and all the Nintendo characters. So my brother and I used to do 99 stock matches, team battles versus computers.
Shit.
And they would take like 3.5 hours. And we would just like, this is like what you do when you're little kids. Like you don't have response. This was 2001 or 2002, something like that. So I was like 13, 14. Yeah, I don't have responsibilities. I don't have a job or anything like that. And my brother's even younger, even less is expected of him. So we would do 99 stock matches on Smash Melee, us versus 2 CPUs, and they would take 3.5 hours, and we'd play them all the way to the end. And
God.
we did that like many times, and it was just a great memory, like playing on what was it, the Pokemon stage from the original Smash game, but they had it in Melee too, the Saffron City stage. Yeah. So that's my memory that I'll share with everyone. Just complete little kid, infinite time type of stuff.
I love that shit. I miss that.
At least until your mom comes upstairs. She's like, David, I need you to come take out the trash for me.
That's what she sounds like. Yeah.
Awesome.
But Ma, we got 34 stocks left.
Ma, we got 34 stocks left and the Pikachu ain't dying, Ma.
Yeah.
The Pikachu ain't dying. Oh man. Yeah. I remember doing similar things to that. I also remember just having like infinite amounts of time to have GoldenEye death matches, like just constant. And then just like there was always that one person that would come over that was like slightly outside of the friend circle, because you'd be like, well, we need a fourth. and then like this other fucking chump would come in and he'd be like, I'm picking odd job. And you'd be like, of course this motherfucker is picking odd job. Like we said no odd job. We used to also do slappers only.
Slappers?
Yeah, it's that same kid in Melee would be like, "Oh, I'm playing as Fox." And like, "Yeah, of course you're playing as Fox, you piece of shit. We get it."
I feel like Ganondorf was always the one that wrecked.
Ganondorf was fun. High risk, high reward.
Yeah, Mewtwo in Melee was a bastard. My friends and I would always start up like CPU versus CPU matches in like Soul Calibur and shit. And we would like make brackets on a piece of paper and have like a little tournament. Be like, okay, dude, we're gonna set them all the way up, max difficulty. Nightmare's gonna win this shit. I'm gonna bet you this many coins. We would just bring just a shit ton of coins and yeah, we would do that.
Hell fun. Yeah, gambling early.
Nice.
Most of the time, Nightmare would not win. He would get his shit rocked by Maxie.
I love Soul Calibur so much.
Hold it!
Now hold your horses there, fellas. We got a score to settle on this here show. I am the Retro Reaper, and I have but one demand of each of you. Are you ready to hear it?
Fuck. Yeah, go.
Give me your favorite rock. Just give it to me right now.
Granite.
I was gonna say Grant. Fuck you. I was gonna say
Granite's
Granite.
a great rock. Granite's taken though.
Yep. Oh wait, it is? Like I can't pick Granite?
Well, no, the Granite's mine.
I like
fuck. Oh yeah.
Soapstone.
Okay.
Quartzite. Quartzite.
Okay. All right. So now that I have your rocks, we can get down to business. So I've heard that you are some I switched accents, but I've heard that you're some naughty boys and you got some games in the backlog that need some attention.
Fuck. Aaron, did you tell him about this?
No, I mean he might have heard me on the playground. I might have.
You told him.
Santa told me.
He cornered you. You're weak.
Purge my bloodline.
Santa told me that there's some games in the backlog being neglected. Santa watches
Fucking
what you do,
Santa.
but Santa also watches the games you don't play. So, Gerry, Mrs. Claus told me that you haven't played Okami before.
I have. It's always been in the back of my brain because it's one of those games that I'm like, one of these days I'm gonna eventually go back and finish the other 30 hours.
I was gonna say, one of these days I'm gonna play a 45-hour Zelda game.
Is it really 45 hours?
Yeah. It's really fucking long, dude.
Oh man.
That game has
what game?
Okami.
That game has 2 points where you're like, it's definitely over now, and then there's 20 hours after that.
Oh, it's so fucking cool though.
It's very cool. So you don't have to finish Okami. You can still be you can get yourself on the good kids list, but you got to play more of Okami because it's really pretty and the music's great, and yeah, it's fun. Just play till the time when you think it should end, and then it doesn't end, but like you can stop then.
I can stop there and then eventually be like, oh, I forgot how good Okami is, and then go back to my save file and be like, it's like a new game.
Yeah, when we're all 70-year-old podcasters and we've forgotten all about this, we can just relive this entire thing, and then you'll be like, I have an inkling that I left off an Okami at hour 30 45 years ago or whatever. So
shit. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, at least I don't have to play Okami.
Yeah, Okami's
so
cool.
The Retro Reaper.
Okami is cool, man.
Yeah.
It's very cool. It's way too fucking long, but it's a cool game.
Nice.
Which is better than a game that's way too long and not cool. That's a bad combo.
Yeah, it truly is. Is that all they told you about my backlog?
They also told me that you haven't played Terranigma, but I don't think Terranigma is that good, so you don't have to play it. And
get wrecked.
Get
rocked.
I played Terranigma for the first time last year, and Terranigma was never released in the US. It was like this weird, like very shitty exchange where like we got Chrono Trigger and then like the PAL regions didn't get Chrono Trigger, but they got Terranigma. And it's like a horrible trade. Like we won that trade in the US. Yeah. We destroyed in that trade. So Yeah, Terranigma is not. No, you can play it if you want.
USA.
The only time I'll be patriotic. It was like we got the better game.
And I'm from Canada.
Yeah, I know, but it's North America, right? I don't know how shit worked in 1995.
North America.
Yeah, or 1996 was
Or
Terranigma.
however that chant goes.
Yeah.
Not Mexico.
That's also North America.
Oh,
So,
shit.
Not Brazil. Not Brazil.
Oh, there we go. Yep. Not Panama.
Take it easy. Dave, take it easy on it. He hasn't seen the fucking ocean, okay?
You
Yeah,
got a
that's
lot
true.
of you got a lot of Brazilian fans. I apologize.
Jerry, you better shut the fuck up or I'm going to tell Santa on you.
Gerry, you've also not played Siren, but I don't know what that is, so you're forgiven.
I have. I mean, I've
It's a spooky
attempted to
PS2
play
game.
Siren, but Jesus Christ, is that game scary?
Oh,
and
it's too
unsettling.
scary?
It's the same people that made
I'll
Silent
send you a
Hill,
link.
Oh, okay.
Boom, there you go.
and it is.
What is this link,
mean-
Aaron?
It's a link to Siren.
It's the longest link I've ever seen. There's like 75 capital
I
letters.
know, dude. Don't blame me. Blame
It's
Google.
like a code. Oh God.
There's a cheat code to how to get
that's so funny.
spooked.
Siren.
Yeah,
PS2.
it's still very, very scary and unsettling.
Yeah.
There's something about this game that's just like the second you turn
Oh,
it
yeah,
on,
Dave
like,
just like jumped back. He was like, whoa.
Yeah, I saw a dude crying blood or something like that.
That's the Amibito.
Yeah, looks pretty scary. You know what game's not scary? Okami. Okami's not scary.
There you
no,
go.
it's not.
Okami.
Yeah.
Okami.
It's very cute. It's the opposite of scary. Yeah. All right. So
Yeah, I mean, I've tried to play Siren, but I've never gotten more than like one level in, and then been like, I don't know.
that's what the Retro Reaper has decreed on this here episode. That Gerry can play Okami. Gerry, you're the horror guy, and Siren's too scary for you.
It's really unsettling, dude.
Okay.
Like it is. It's a nerve-wracking game.
Okay.
Just because like the premise of it is that you're looking through like the eyes of the things that are preying on you. Like you can switch cameras. So like you have this second sight where like you can sight hijack the monsters and get a feel for where they are. And like when you're hiding away and shit and they're just like rummaging through stuff and it's like first person and it's like, I'm in that fucking locker. I'm in that locker.
And you can
and
hear
they're,
them
like,
breathing
looking
and
around.
shit.
It is
Like
fucked,
while
dude.
you're looking through their eyes, you'll hear them going like, ooh. And then like rummaging through shit like, ah.
And then like the background noise is just like white noise and brown noise at the same time.
It's just a bunch of shitting.
Yeah, I was gonna say brown noise. Okay. I
Like
saw that
Conker's
South
Bad
Park
Fur Day.
episode. Yeah.
The brown noise.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. So Gerry, you should just play some more Okami. And like I said, just when you reach that point where you're like, this is definitely the end of the game, just stop playing after that point. And that can be your end of the game, and you'll be okay.
Perhaps the real end was the friends who made along the way.
That's right. Yeah.
To quote
Jesus
Cliff
Christ, dude.
Blasinski.
I was going to say, to quote Amaterasu, the main character
There
of
we go.
Okami. That was her quote. Aaron,
Yo,
Oh shit.
Krampus has
They
told
got
me
some shit on you
you
too.
got some shit in your backlog.
fucking
Krampus eats
damn it.
bad kids. So
Oh no.
Krampus
Aaron's a
told me
bad
that you
bitch.
have a game called Phantasy Star 4 in your backlog.
I've always I've started it many times. I'll get like 5 minutes in and then I'll be like, I could play something else. But everybody says it's really good. Bill praises it a lot. A few other people I know
also
have
heard
praised it a lot. So yeah, I need to play it. It looks awesome.
It's a great feeling when you start up a new game and 5 minutes in, you're like, I want to play something else. I'm not feeling this. This game has barely begun. I haven't even put my character's name in yet. And I'm like, I don't know.
Maybe I'll play Earthworm Jim for the 45th time.
Yeah.
Shout out to games with Earth in the title, like Earthbound, Earthworm
And
Jim.
Jim. Remember when they made the PS2 game according to Jim?
What? No way.
You guys don't remember according to Jim's
Side-scrolling
PS2 game?
beat 'em up starring Jim Belushi.
Is that a real game? I know the show.
No, it's not real.
Thank God, dude.
But every licensed game up until a certain point was just a side-scrolling beat 'em up. So just take any
That's
show.
what Home Improvement was on Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
According to Jim on PS2, bro. You fucked me up.
I can't believe you.
It was the PlayStation 2. They made PlayStation 2 games for fucking everything. Like
Yeah.
Ice Age.
Yeah, there's
But not.
They probably made one for the Reba McEntire show, bro. I don't give a shit.
That was a rhythm game.
yeah.
Reba. Reba Las Vegas.
Let's see, Aaron. I have never played a Phantasy Star game. I don't know anything about it. I just know that at a certain point they became MMOs or something, and I don't know anything about it. It's none of my business at this point. I'm cool. I'll be over here.
Okay. It's none of my business. That's such a good way of being like, I don't care about this thing. It's none of
It's
my
a-
business.
I took that from another podcast where there's like, yeah, this thing's happening. It's none of my business. I'll be over here. I'm playing these other things. You never played Xenoblade Chronicles X? What's wrong with you? Do you not have a Wii U?
I do have a Wii U. I have a copy
Okay.
of the game. I bought it to eventually start it because I've played and loved Xenoblade 1 and 2. Everybody shits on 2, but they can go fuck themselves because 2 was fun. I
2's
really
great.
liked
Xenoblade-
2. Yeah.
Xenoblade 2?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Xenoblade Chronicles 2, yeah.
Who's shitting on Xenoblade
People
2?
get mad at
It's fucking
Xenoblade
amazing.
Chronicles 2
people.
because it has a gotcha mechanic that does not matter. You can just draw your shit. You'll get enough good stuff.
Yep.
And
And you get plenty of currency, or I forget what
Yeah.
the fuck you even need to even draw more for the gotcha mechanic, but it's not even like mobile
Dude, I went
phone
through the whole
gotcha.
game
It's
without
stupid.
even knowing there was a gotcha mechanic.
Yeah,
I
it's
was
like-
just like, this is cool. I'm just acquiring these blades.
Yeah.
And then someone's like,
People-
yeah, but do you like the gotcha thing though? I'm
it's
like,
the-
what are you talking about?
it's the completionists. The completionists got mad because you can get Cosmos from Xenosaga as one of
Yeah.
the blades, but it's super rare and it's a gotcha thing. So the people who are like completionist about it, like they're mad that they can't get Cosmos. And I'm like, I don't care. Like you've drawn like 60 other blades that will get you through the game. No problem. Like just go
Yep.
play the game, play the story, play fucking Xenosaga if you want to play as Cosmos. Like,
Dude, honestly,
yeah.
play fucking Soul Calibur 3 where you can actually get Cosmos's costume and shit as a costume in Soul Calibur 3.
yeah. So
Yeah.
Xenoblade, like there's a weird Nopon with a sex doll robot
Oh,
in
yeah, he
Xenoblade
sucks.
Chronicles 2. He's
Yeah,
awful.
Torna
So
or Tora. Yeah.
Tora, yeah.
Ugh.
So there is that.
I hate
But
that guy.
That's true.
all right, so Xenoblade Chronicles X. I have that on my Wii U also, and it's just one of those games where it's like
It's just one of those games.
it's just one of those games where it's like 90 hours long and everybody sucks and everything is fucked. I don't know. I assume it's good. People seem to like it.
Yeah.
And
It's just one of those days.
that's right. Thank you, voice of God. If you pray, God will make himself known. This is how you pray.
In the form of friend.
The God of Northern Florida. So,
Yes.
Aaron Krampus also told me that you haven't played Robotrek. What's Robotrek?
Gerry talked about it on one of our episodes, and he made it sound awesome. I've always known it existed, but I've never actually played it. Jerry made it sound like it was almost like custom Robo, but like a turn-based RPG where you just fight with your robots and shit. Is that right?
Yeah, I think you just get one robot though. Like I think it's just the one.
That's cool.
I'm not 100% sure. It's been a long time since I played that game,
That's pretty tight.
but I remember it being really cool. And it's made by Enix.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was
okay.
before they had like their merger, and like not a lot of people talk about that game, but I just remember it being really charming and like fun.
Oh,
Like-
it was made by Quintet, who made Terranigma. Same people. It was
Oh.
published by Enix, but made by
That's cool.
Quintet. So yeah, Quintet made a bunch of stuff on like the Super Nintendo, Terranigma and Soul Blazer and those games.
Soul Blazer was good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, they did. They also did the Illusion of Gaia, I think, because that's the first. Terranigma is the sequel, like the indirect sequel.
yeah, they
to
have like
Illusion of
a
Gaia.
trilogy or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
This one looks very weird. Also, one of the things that I'm looking at just looks like Earthbound. So yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on in this game. So I'm looking at the screen right now. There's 4 screenshots and they all look like completely different games. It's very weird. So do I need to get Krampus to tell me which game Aaron needs to play so that he can get Christmas presents or whatever?
Yes. If I have to do it, then he has to do it.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
only fair.
So I made Gerry play the long game. So
do it. Do it.
no, Aaron, you got to play RoboTrek and you got to tell us what the fuck this game is.
Hell yeah. Okay. Robo
right.
Trek it do be.
Yeah.
It do be do. Hell yeah. All right. Well, I mean, there's worse things than getting sentenced to just playing good games, right?
Getting slapped in the face for eternity by Krampus.
Going to work even.
Or by Fred Durst.
Imagine getting slapped by Fred Durst.
It's just one of those. I bet he's an open.
It's just one of those.
That's on topic for today.
Yeah.
I would know that scream anywhere.
Speaking of that horrific scream, why don't we take a quick break and then we'll be back to get into our topic.
A poop break.
Well, you do you.
Okay.
I was gonna go just refill a beer and take a piss and then maybe check in with our sponsors and see what they're saying.
Okay.
Ooh.
So we'll reconvene after these messages.
Let's get to thanking those patrons. Thank you all so much for your continued support. Novel Console, Jared Schrader, Jameson Empire, Adam Phineas, Trey, Lieutenant Jeff Miners, Jenny E, Kevin Demo, Thrack, Mr. Kwong, Matt aka Stormageddon, and Quest 64, well-known best-selling game. Thank all of you cool kids and all that for supporting the show. Love you all, bye.
Video games are a unique medium.
They can tell stories,
Immerse us in strange, fantastic worlds.
blur the very boundaries of our reality.
But at the end of the day, video games are fun. Whatever fun is to you.
I'm Jeff Moonen,
And I am Matt aka Stormageddon.
and on Fun and Games, we talk about the history, trends, and community of video games.
It's a celebration of all the games we play and all the fun we find within them.
And there's so many more games out there, so we hope you'll share in that conversation with us.
Fun and Games podcast with Matt and Jeff. Find us on certainpov.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
And happy gaming.
Hey, you there! This is Nomad speaking. If you love retro video games and you're itching for some nostalgia, check out the Retro Wildlands podcast. In each episode, I'll use game music and sound to pull you into the gaming experience while I share my own thoughts and maybe a few memories. It's a great way to relive one of your favorite games or learn about a new one. Check out the Retro Wildlands podcast at superpodnetwork.com or wherever you listen to your podcast.
Hey, Aaron.
Hey, Jerry.
How do you feel about cardboard, man?
Dude, it's easily recyclable. Just break it down, pop it in the recycling bin, bam, you're good to go. It's sturdy.
Whoa. Too many steps.
Oh.
Before you break that cardboard box down, let me tell you, we have a special offer for listeners. If you act today,
Dave's got one.
there is Dave's already got one.
Yeah.
He had the he was in the beta program.
He sent me a
Solid
test
Snake.
unit. Yeah.
Solid Snake's cardboard box. The one that he hides in away from militant people. However, I don't know if the listeners knew this, but if you're having a shitty day at the office, just get in that full-size refrigerator box. I mean, the one that Dave has is kind of perfect for just popping over your head if you just want to, shut yourself out from the world. I tend to use my cardboard box. I don't have mine right now because
It's at the
I
dry
lost mine.
cleaner. Yeah.
Somebody really did a number on it, and I had to bring it to the dry cleaner. Some guy was like, "Give me that box. It looks good. I want to live in it." And I was like,
Whoa.
"Fuck you, man!" And then he took it, and then it got kind of not so good, and I had to bring it to the dry cleaner to get it all cleaned up. But now I have it back, and I can easily, the second my wife is like, "Hey, I think our marriage is in shambles," I'm like, "Cool, gonna get in my cardboard box," and I just get in my cardboard box, and she can't see me.
And your
I know
wife
she
is like,
can't, 'cause
"Gerry,
I can't see her."
what happened to your head? It's just shoulders and nothing above it."
She's calling the ambulance shit. My husband just decapitated himself.
Gerry, no! Oh God, no! It's like the invisibility cloak from Harry Potter, except
Yeah.
like you like
Just for taking your head off. Hey kids, you want to see a magic trick? You just pop the box on, they start screaming. They're like, "Oh my God!" Aaron, what do you like to do with your box? Your Solid Snake cardboard box?
dude, I like to make a big castle out of them. Like I'll make a big castle out of different shapes and sizes of boxes, and I'll make like a little drawbridge to have a little kingdom. Let some peons in every so often. Be like, "All right, you can come in, and I'll protect you from the bad people, but you have to pay me. You have to pay me taxes. You have to get jobs, till the land, raise animals, slaughter them, pay
Get a platinum trophy and demon souls.
Yeah, mostly just pay me money and I'll protect you." And then when the subpoena comes for my involuntary manslaughter charge, I quickly evade them by hiding in my invisibility box. And then I resume my castle, my kingdom.
Dave, how was the beta program of the Solid Snake cardboard box?
It was amazing. The best thing about it was, so I got in the box in the back of my neighbor's pickup truck, just hanging out before he goes to work, and I just like teleported to an entirely new place. It was like in Indiana or some shit when I lifted the box up. It was like it's a whole new method of travel. I'm never using an airplane ever again.
Hell yeah. There's a multitude of things that you can do with these things.
Let me tell you the downside of that, though, Dave. With those kinds of boxes, you never know where you're going to go. Sure,
That's
one
true.
will take you to Indiana, probably the blandest, plainest state in the U.S. That's coming from a guy from Iowa. But let me tell you what, yeah, you never know where you're going to go. Yeah, that it could take you to Indiana one day, but one day you might go to Rhode Island, the next, the Gulf of Mexico, the next,
Canada.
the Marianas Trench.
Yeah, I was gonna say the city dump. It could be anywhere.
I don't know why those guys got in that submarine and blew up when all they had to do was get in a cardboard box and go right straight to the fucking Titanic.
You're
Yeah.
goddamn right. Why take an elevator? Why take a potentially dangerous elevator? Well, you just take a cardboard box.
Yeah,
Just take the cardboard box.
perfect for the digital nomad in today's modern society.
That's right. They can't serve you those papers if you don't have an address or
That's
a way
right.
for them to find you.
I'm
Just hide
literally
in the
always
box.
on the move. I exist nowhere and everywhere all at once.
It's just
Someone comes knocking. Are you Dave Jackson? You're like, "No, the fuck I'm not." And you whoop,
Yep.
and you just get in your box.
or there's just like
I'm running down the side of the road as like a minivan is driving by, and I dive in the back of it, perfectly inside the box, and it's gone.
or like
Yeah.
you're near there you how the fuck do I so there's other boxes around you, right? And you're also inside of a box, like hiding inside of it, so that they don't know which box is you potentially. There's too many boxes for them to check, so you slowly sneak out of there in your box, and every time they turn around you're slowly walking away, and then you're like, "Oh, can you stop?" And you turn this way, and they
Yep. Whether you want to evade doing your taxes, dealing with your marital problems, or you just want to
Involuntary manslaughter?
Yeah, involuntary manslaughter. You want to go somewhere, hide away from the police for a bit. Solid Snake's cardboard box has got you covered. Okay, so listeners, please act now. If you go to www.solidsnakes.cardboardbox/christalive/Aaron's dilated pupils.com, then enter the code 4432218338343338556. That will get you 2% off your first order.
Yeah, 2%, whatever Gerry said for your first order, and then 20% off your next 3 orders, and then 4% off your next your final order. Yeah, the remaining. Yeah.
Yes. Very easy installments. So act now. Thank you for sponsoring the podcast, Solid Snake and your cardboard box.
Then that sweet ass.
Clear my nose. All this laughing between last night's episode and this episode. Holy Christ. All right, we're back. Just like that. We are back. I am refilled and I am recharged.
The air,
I've drained myself.
The air has been has refilled my lungs. I'm breathing again. I don't know if you guys know this, but like as soon as we start an ad break, I immediately just I don't know where the fuck I'm going with this. Skip.
You stop breathing?
Yeah. My body shuts down.
It's like, okay, time for an ad break. You're like, okay. I just see you puff up like Mario when he gets one of those pee balloons.
Pee balloons? That sounds not so great. Like a pee water balloon?
Do you know what... Have you gotten that far in Super
I'm
Mario World
just
that you've seen
joking. I'm just being silly.
Come on, man.
I'm just being a big silly Billy.
All right, Metal Gear Solid, ladies and gentlemen. What a game. I recently beat this for the first time, I want to say 3 months ago. And Dave, I was back and forth talking to you about it, and then I immediately started 2. But I'm not finished with 2. So I figured, you know what? Let's talk about the first one and set the stage. And then maybe at a later time, we'll get you back on. We'll do 2 and 3. Little mishmash. Get those 2 blended in together, because so far in 2, I'm loving what I'm playing, and that game gets some shit for some reason, and I don't get it. I don't fucking understand why that game got the shit that it did. I mean, I do, but I don't.
Yeah.
But Metal Gear Solid 1 released September 3rd, 1998 in Japan, and then October 20th in North America for the PlayStation. Then it was remade for the Nintendo GameCube and released as Metal Gear Solid: The Twin Snakes in March of 2004. I've never really played the Twin Snakes. I've like thrown it on, but I've never actually like played it.
Yeah.
Dave, have you played both of these?
Nope, just the PlayStation 1 version.
Gotcha. Aaron, you've played none of these, right?
None, but I'm going to download them. I've been interested in the Metal Gear Solid series.
You definitely should.
Like everybody worships Hideo Kojima like he's some kind of god. I think he's kind of up his own ass.
I mean, he definitely is, but that's not
a reason why I hate the games, though. Like that's a stupid reason I hate the games.
I mean, it could be a good one because Kojima is up his own ass. I mean, not as far up his ass as Jeff Keighley is up his ass, but he's pretty up his own ass. But I will say that seeing this game and putting yourself back when this game came out and seeing what this game did, I went, I can kind of see why he's up his own ass. Because these games are really, really fucking good games. And they were doing some really different shit where it was like, oh, I don't think anybody really thought about doing stuff like this in a video game before. Not to mention, I was blown away that it was fully voice acted.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
And not only PS1. Fully voice acted, but like really good voice acting. Like this is 1998 we're talking about. Like this is... Think about the voice acting in the first Silent Hill game or the first Resident Evil game. That's 96 and 99 for those two.
Or fucking Shenmue. Shenmue came out, I think, 99 or 2000, and the voice acting was like not the best.
Right. So it's like the only 2 games from like this era that I think have like really good voice acting that I know of off the top of my head. Metal Gear Solid and then Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver has really good voice acting. That was a year later.
Yeah.
So like the presentation of this, think about like what's the most popular game from 1998? It's like Ocarina of Time was 98. And then Pokemon came out in 98. Like those were the really popular games. And then Metal Gear Solid has like this crazy presentation. The voice acting is awesome. You have like a ridiculous story. You have pretty innovative gameplay too. So like, and for all the talk about Kojima kind of, drinking his own Kool-Aid as far as storytelling goes, gameplay is where I actually think he is really, really innovative and doesn't get enough credit for like just throwing new ideas into gameplay all the time, all the way up until like he turned walking into an entire game in Death Stranding, and it was fucking awesome.
Did you play Death Stranding?
Yeah.
Did you play Death Stranding?
Yeah.
Dude, this is the thing. I remember being like, there's no fucking way I'm going to play this game. And if I do, I'm not going to like it. And then I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll try this. And like 4 hours later, I'm like, is this amazing?
Yeah,
what the fuck is going on?
It's really good. Like the story is terrible, I think, but the game
it is fucking weird.
The gameplay in Death Stranding is so good, and I just like Metal Gear Solid 1, I don't think the gameplay is like, I don't like it really, but it's trying a bunch of new stuff, and it's like pretty basic. You just play stealth by watching the mini map in this game, basically. Like it's not that great. The combat's real bad. Like it's like it's not at that point. Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 get closer where it's like you can actually sneak up behind a guard and do a stealth takedown the way that you think it should work. It's like doesn't work in the first game, but like there's a bunch of ideas that they're being tried, and so it's creative at the very least.
Yeah. And then I will say this too, because there are two ways to play this game. I would say play this however way you can, and however way you decide, because either way you're going to have a good time with it. If I would say because I know some people are a little bit put off by the abrasive look of like a PS1 game. I actually enjoy that aesthetic a lot.
Embrace it. Embrace the fact that Snake doesn't have a face in this game.
Yeah, it's just like a blurry like mess.
Yeah,
but like I don't know, there's something I like that era of polygons, like the sharp, just weird looking polygons and like the slight blur to things.
Yeah,
like if you can play that on emulation, throw like a nice CRT filter on there, make sure you got those scan lines on because they do make a difference, and just embrace that shitty texture in its glory. But like if I get it, if that's something that you're like, I really don't like the look of this stuff, the GameCube one definitely looks really fucking good. Like it still looks really good to this day. I don't think there's a whole lot of differences in the two. I think the major one, I think they redid the cutscenes. I think
the other main difference is the gameplay. It plays like Metal Gear Solid 2 does in the GameCube version.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So it has like really easy like first person aiming and stuff, which was kind of a hassle in the first Metal Gear Solid game.
Yeah.
So
big
it's like it's probably better from a play experience on the GameCube, but like I beat the one on PlayStation with only using cheats to insta kill bosses 3 times. So you can do it.
You can do it.
Yeah, man. Use those cheats if you have to. Some of those bosses were fucking hard, dude.
Yeah, they're terrible.
Like, really difficult. The tank.
Yeah, I used the cheats.
Raven?
So like I think it was Duck Station. Duck Station has just like a cheat that's like insta kill any of the bosses, and I used it for the helicopter. I used it for the Metal Gear fight, and then the final fist fight at the end.
Oh boy, that fight. Jesus Christ almighty, that fight.
Yep.
I mean, I remember playing this briefly when it came out years and years and years ago, and I remember getting to the essentially the first major boss was the tank guy, and I just remember being like, man, fuck this guy, like this is impossible, like how am I even supposed to do this? Then when I actually picked it up and played it again, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna fuck this guy up. Like, I'm an adult now. You can't fucking tell me what to do. And then
I can go to bed.
then I
whenever
beat him, and
want.
I'm like, fuck yeah. Then I get the ninja, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, it's getting way harder. Psycho Mantis was kind of like a gimmick boss. Like, he wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
He was still kind of difficult. Dude, Sniper Wolf, though.
Terrible.
Did you have trouble with this fucking boss? Jesus Christ.
The one that's in like the hallway.
The first one.
Yeah, the one in the hallway's awful.
What the
It's
fuck,
real
dude?
bad. The one in the woods is cool though.
The one in the woods is really cool. I love that scene, that fight, everything about that is really awesome.
Vulcan Raven is my favorite boss fight in Metal Gear Solid 1.
He's good, yeah. That's a good fair fight. It's still difficult. Like, that's the thing.
Yeah.
None of these boss fights are all that easy.
No.
But he's difficult, but not like, it doesn't feel like I'm getting cheesed by the fucking boss.
Yeah.
You know? Whereas like some of the other ones, I'm just like, what the fuck?
Definite
How is this
cheese.
even?
Definite
Yeah,
cheese.
for sure. So yeah, I would say play whatever one you want. If aesthetics are a thing for you that you don't like the PS1, go with the GameCube one. I would say if you're going to play the PS1, if you have a Mister, absolutely play it on the Mister. That's how I played it recently, and it was flawless. Right down to even like the controller swapping and shit like that was really easy. Like, I literally unplugged from one USB and plugged it into another, and it was like, you switched controllers, you dirty bastard.
You dirty bastard. You dirty dog.
Or if you have original hardware, or like there's the Metal Gear Solid collection that you can play this on. There's a lot of ways that you can play this game. Just play it. Play it somehow. Just play it.
Yeah.
Aaron,
Even if
for fuck's sakes, play it.
I will.
Even if you just want
Okay.
to play it as like a curiosity, because it's like a super famous, super influential game. If you just want to play it to see what it is, then like I still recommend it because there's a bunch of cool stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of cool stuff, dude, that story. What the fuck? What the fuck, dude, with this story? Like, okay, the story itself at first is very like cool. I mean, if you don't know about Metal Gear, then you'll just be like, okay, so you're some espionage guy. You got to go to this Arctic like military base that's like a nuclear base.
Yeah.
You got to stop the bad guys. On paper, pretty simple. But then you're like, you get into like cloning and like there's like all these twists and like then again, the narrative of this game at the time must have been like mind-blowing once it started going. Once it got going and you were like, oh wow, I didn't really think that video games could do this kind of like cinematic approach. Like, of course we had long drawn out like elaborate epic tales in like RPG games, but we never really had like these blockbuster like movie fucking games like this. Like it wasn't like this.
This is like
where
a
it felt like you.
This is like a Bond movie game, like a spy thriller game, and then so it starts out that way, like you said. Like there's these terrorists that might have a nuclear weapon, and they might have the ability to use a Metal Gear, which is like it's a mech. For anyone who doesn't know what a Metal Gear is, it's a mech that can shoot nuclear weapons. Yeah, so it's a big deal. So like you're playing the super soldier, you're going in there to try and stop them, and that's your like basic spy story setup. But once you get in there and you start getting into all like the family dynamics, and there's like, are we doing spoilers on this?
Yes, we can do spoilers. So I guess just a tag here. If you've been listening to us up to this point, and you're like, you know what? God damn it, maybe I will check this out. And if you do care about story, skip ahead a little bit. I'll put it. You'll see in the episode notes. It'll tell you where the spoilers start and end.
Okay,
but go ahead, Dave. Spoil away.
So Snake gets double crossed and backstabbed like 37 times in this game. Basically every character is betraying him at some point. And
top 10 anime betrayals.
Even the box.
Yeah. And especially like So let's just say, for the sake of argument, that this game is 15 hours long. I don't remember exactly how long it is, but let's just say 15 hours.
About right.
In the last 3 hours, there are like 11 plot twists. It's like an insane amount of plot twists about like, actually they're evil. Actually, like, no, this person's double crossing Snake. Actually, no, the Pentagon is double crossing Snake. And then actually, oh, he's his brother and they're twins.
God
and
damn
he's Liquid Snake is mad because they're twin brothers, they're clones, but Snake got all the good genes and he got all the bad genes. And he's angry about that. But actually, it's the opposite. Liquid has all the good genes. Snake has all the bad genes. And
Holy
there's
shit.
they have nano machines, and there's a nano machine virus, and the president knows about this. And this is all like, the president did all this to wipe out everybody, to cover up the United States' involvement in this whole thing. And this is all
what
like,
the fuck?
these are,
Dude,
these are
yeah,
like half
this-
of the plot twists.
We're
in
only
the
half.
last
Yeah,
2
we're
hours.
only halfway through the plot. That's the thing. I just picture Kojima in the writer's room while they're making this, and it's just the meme picture of Charlie Day with the cork board, just
Oh, yeah.
pointing back at it, like
Pepe
just
Sylvia,
with the
Pepe
strings and
Sylvia.
shit. And then also the camera pans over, and M. Night Shyamalan is just at a table, like handcuffed at the table, and they're like, "Write the twist,
Yeah.
write the twist.
We need another
Write another
twist."
twist."
It's
Not twisty
crazy.
enough.
And like,
Twist it, bop it.
so I've only
Squeeze it.
played in the series. So I played them all for the first time in the last like couple years. And I've only played 1, 2, and 3 at this point. And 2 is crazy because it goes on like this philosophy TED talk that's like absolutely insane. It's like, it's really good content, but it's insane the way it's delivered. But it doesn't have like the plot twist a minute like Metal Gear Solid 1 has. And then Metal Gear Solid 3 is like, it's just a normal story. They like, it's got wacko characters in it, but it's a fairly normal story. And I think that's why it's everyone's favorite, because like, you can play that
It's
game
easier
and
to
be like,
follow.
I know exactly what happened in that story. I know how to feel
Yeah.
about this. Metal Gear Solid 1 is such a wild, like, Bumpo's House of Tricks ride that when you finish it, you're like, I don't know whose allegiances lie anywhere, but I'm
Bumpo's
fist fighting this
House of
guy on the top of a burning mech, and everyone's shirtless. And
Oh, yeah. Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
Dude, Aaron, I'm telling you, it's like the last like 2 or 3 hours of this game is like everything that you would want from like the cheesiest but best like action thriller of like the 90s. It's like, it's all of that just encompassed into a game. And like the thing is, like, after twist after twist after twist in the story, eventually you're like, this is like a parody or something. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, it's hard to take this serious. But then the more that it goes on, for me, I was like starting to kind of drink the Kool-Aid a bit, and I was like, actually, this is kind of fucking amazing. Like, I kind of like this.
well, the thing that's amazing about it, and the reason why it works, because as a story, it just has too many plot twists to be anything that where you're going to be like, I'm 100% in on the plot. Like, and I got to a point where I was like, I don't care what happens, but I'm along for the ride here. But the reason that
exactly.
the story works is because the characters are all really memorable. Like all the I forget what they're called in this game. All the Foxhound people, like Vulcan Raven and Sniper Wolf and Liquid Snake, of course, and Gray Fox and all the other characters, Psycho Mantis and all of them. They're all really memorable. So when they show up, they always steal scenes. They're great. And then you have like throughout all of this fucking madness, you have like actual like story themes that are not like crazy deep or anything like that, but you can follow along with like the themes of how governments treat people as disposable, especially soldiers, and how there's a character in here who like looks up to Snake and Snake's like, I'm not a hero. And, all of that stuff. So you can follow along with that. You get all these, this, what's the word? Like this rogues gallery of like just ridiculous characters along the way. And then you go on this roller coaster of plot twists, and it ends with Snake and Liquid Snake shirtless screaming at each other on top of a burning mech.
Yeah,
Fuck yeah.
it's
It's almost
good, dude. Aaron, you have to play this game.
This sounds almost like the ending to, I think, Aliens or Alien 3, whichever one has like the little girl, and Sigourney Weaver is in that mech.
Gets in the mech.
Yeah, she's like,
you bitch.
she's pushing the alien queen or whatever. It's like, it sounds like that, but like, yeah, less shirts.
Yeah, dude. It's so good. I don't know. There's something about it. Like after I can't reiterate more that after I came away from this game, I was like,
After you
God
came.
damn it. Yeah, after I came and then put the game controller down, I was like, fuck sakes, man. Kojima kind of he is fucking awesome. God damn it. Like I've been dissing this dude for being up his own ass for so long, and it's like,
Kojima.
man, I'd be up my own ass too if I came up with these fucking games.
What's
I guess
interesting
so.
too is so I recently played the original Metal Gear from the MSX.
Oh,
And
how was that?
It's not good, but I hear Metal Gear 2 is better. Like it's not bad, but it's not a good game. Like it works and stuff, and it's like there's some interesting stuff that like from that time you can see the creativity of like, you know, using gadgets and stuff like that in such a limited game. But you can see that game has like the plot twist that it's then referenced in Metal Gear Solid 1, where Big Boss is the father of Snake and
Big Boss.
Liquid. And so like they're continuing that story in this game, and that game has the same kind of setup where Snake goes in to stop terrorists who might have, you know, access to nuclear weapons and stuff like that. Then like the whole thing gets turned upside down, and then they kind of like redo it in this game, and then later games in the series that I won't spoil kind of like redo what this game does in interesting meta ways. So like there's that element to Kojima's creativity, and like, so I think that Kojima actually is really good, but it's just like if you play the games, I think that the themes of Kojima's stories are often really shallow, but everything else about them is really fun and really inventive. And then there's like
with
this
Death Stranding. I couldn't explain. Like people were like, "You like this game?" I'm like, "Dude, I love this game." They're like, "What do you like about it?" I'm like, "I don't know." And they're like, "What do you mean you don't know?" I'm like, "I don't know. I just like, I don't know. I just walk around and deliver stuff, and then sometimes there's weird monster things that come out of the ground and turn things to a muddy ocean, and then I have to scramble for my life, and then I get a cool weird ass cutscene that I don't understand where the story's going." And they're like,
yeah.
"And you like this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I fucking love it."
Sometimes you just like put a ladder in the perfect spot and it feels amazing. And people who didn't play Death Stranding have no idea.
I know exactly. What you're just like, oh my God, it fucking worked perfectly.
Yep.
It's like I was meant to climb this ladder perfectly from this little ledge to that little ledge. And then you get up and you're like, oh man, can I actually trudge through all this snow on the top of this mountain? I think I can. And then then the next scene is just you like tumbling down and like all your luggage and shit just going flying everywhere. And there is a certain sense of disparity when you lose all that precious cargo and you just see it tumbling down a mountain and you're like, fuck, God damn it, I was so close to delivering this.
I've never played that game.
But anyways,
before.
we're not here to talk about Death Stranding.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people play that game, and it looks pretty
should.
fucking wild.
I can't wait for the sequel. I'm so excited. It's gonna be so
dude.
stupid, and I can't wait.
That guy with the lightning guitar thing?
Yep.
Come on,
Death
man.
Stranding
That's
2.
so fucking amazing.
Even more stranded. No, stranded.
Oh, man.
Stranded
I don't even
again.
give a
There
shit.
we go.
When people were like, what the fuck, they're making another, I was like, yeah, they're making another one, because the people that actually played this game thought it was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Now, that kind of encompasses Metal Gear Solid 1. Now, if you like what you've heard, I highly encourage you, as I said, to go play this game any way that you can.
We didn't do a good
bajillion
job
ways.
of explaining the story. Like,
We did a fantastic job.
We
people
did the
will
best
understand.
job of explaining the story.
We did as good.
So you
This is a bunch of men in a room trying their best. Okay.
It's been a while since I played it.
Yeah, you can do it. You can explain it better than I can because I recently played it and I was still like, oh yeah, that twist. Oh yeah, that twist. But yeah, one thing that I did want to do is I kind of wanted to go around like a round table and talk about like the core memories that you remember from the game. And then I realized Aaron has never played this game. So I'm like, Aaron
You
has
guys do
not,
it.
so
You guys
Aaron,
got it.
No. When it gets to you, I want you to share a core memory from like, tell me your earliest memory of childhood.
I was
That's
going to
all
say,
I want.
Aaron, just
Okay.
say something that you think happens in Metal Gear Solid, and Gerry and I will tell
yeah.
you how far off you are.
Okay.
So Dave, why don't you go first? What's a core memory that you remember from this game?
So
Sticking out.
I missed the boat on like all like the cool meta stuff. Like there's a early thing where you need to find a radio frequency, and they're like check the glass case, and it's like it's on the back of the game box.
The
And, like,
CD case.
yeah, the CD case. Like I don't have the CD. I'm playing on an emulator, so I had to look that up. And the Psycho Mantis thing, like Psycho Mantis couldn't do the thing to me where he's like, "Oh, you like playing Spyro the Dragon, don't you, little boy?" or whatever he would say.
Little
Like,
boy.
he couldn't do that to me. It would have been really funny if he looked on my Steam Deck and was like, "You've played Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance 6 times, haven't you?" But I couldn't get that stuff. So there's a bunch of really weird stuff. The big memory for me is thinking, because there's this scene where Snake gets tortured in this game and you have to mash the button.
Oh yeah.
And
that
it's
was
like an
hard as
insane
fuck.
button mashing thing. Like I don't know how anyone would do it with normal thumbs. I had to do the trick where like I put my no, I couldn't do that. Like that was too slow. I had to do the trick where I put the controller on my lap, I pull my shirt over the controller, and then just like side to side over the button with my shirt. So like there's no friction. It's going quick. And even with that, I barely beat it. And so like there's a if you beat the torture thing, Meryl survives, and if you fail, she dies, I think is how it works. And that was the only way I could save Meryl, was by doing that.
It is insane.
But I was doing that thinking
God.
like, how many people broke their PlayStation controllers back in the day trying to do this thing? Because it's insane and it lasts a really long time.
It does. It's like multiple like attempts at doing this, and it just keeps getting harder and harder.
Yeah.
And like by the end of it, my whole shoulder blade was like sore, and I was like,
dude, you are too old. What are you doing right now? Like you should be relaxing. That's what your body is telling you during that. My memories are, there's just like little things that happen in Metal Gear Solid that I can try and like put myself back in 1998 and think like this would have blown my mind. And so obviously, other than Psycho Mantis and stuff, like this game has like guards that patrol, and they'll like go to the bathroom and you can sneak up and knock them out while they're pissing and like stuff like that.
So fast.
Yeah, just a little bit. Like stuff like that, like little details that like if I had seen this in 98 would be like, video game enemies don't go to the bathroom. They just like they walk in straight lines forever. But these guards do.
They felt like people, yeah. People that piss.
Kojima has like he likes pissing. It's in a lot of his games, including being like a button you press in Death Stranding to like piss outside.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Game of the year.
Exactly.
Bring on the piss.
In Metal Gear Solid 2, there's a part where you're like sneaking on a thing and there's a guard on the floor above you pissing off a ledge, and it's like going over you as you're sneaking. So it's a thing. It's in, I would venture to say it's in all of his games. I haven't played them all, but I'm just going to guess. But there's like little touches like that where just little gameplay things, you know, you can put your back up against a wall and you can bang on the wall to make noise and get a guard to come over to you. And like, what stealth, like these games invented stealth. So like what games were doing stuff like this before that? The answer is probably none. So
yeah,
stuff like that sticks out to, other than all the fucking wild story.
Well, it's
twists.
like you said, right? Like it's a showcase of kind of going, oh yeah, Kojima did know what he was doing back then. Like,
I get the feeling like when I play basically all of these, in Metal Gear Solid 3 was really like this too, where you can imagine them going through scene by scene, and they have like a wireframe of how this level is laid out, where the guards are, where you need to go, and then Kojima or whoever else, I don't want to say it's only him, but they just look and they're like, well, what if we did this cool thing here? What if there was a circuit breaker here? And if you shoot the breaker, the guards will run over and check it. And then, well, this level has bathrooms. What if the guards went in the bathroom and pissed every now and then? And they, just all of these little ideas, It's
imagine
really
if
cool.
it was just Kojima in the writers' room being like, what if they're just pissing?
What if
Dude,
they're all
like,
pissing?
The last ones you said were pissing. Like, can we do something else? And he's like, I don't know. Like, what else is there to do? And they're like, I don't know. Put a breaker box or something.
What
They're
if-
like, okay, let's move on to the next room.
Hear me out.
So this room, Kojima, there's a Metal Gear.
You piss on it.
Piss?
Yeah.
And they're like, Jesus, Hideo. Like, it doesn't always have to be the piss.
Hear me out. What if he's shitting?
That's true.
And everyone's
Some-
like, this guy's good.
Yeah.
Oh,
Shit piss.
shit poop.
I distinctly remember how wild it was trying to figure out how to get out of that fucking cell toward the end of the game. It's right I think it's after or right before the torture scene. And you're like stuck in this cell and I'm like, what am I supposed to be doing here? Like, I don't understand. Like, I'm knocking on the door. The guy is like telling me to shut up. There's a guy patrolling and I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing here. And then I'm like going through all of my items, and which I don't have very many of because they strip you down and like take all your shit away. But for some reason I had a packet of ketchup
Yeah.
in the inventory, and I was like, what the fuck does this even mean? Like, why would I even have this? So I equipped it.
Just take a little squirt.
And I was like, I equipped it, and I'm like, what does this do? Like, I'm trying to use it, and it's like not doing anything. And I'm like, can I crawl under this bed? And I got into the crawl position, but then I checked my phone for something. And then when I looked up, I was like, did I fucking die somehow? What the fuck's going on? The ketchup, if you lay down on the ground when you have the ketchup packet equipped, it starts to seep out and looks like blood. Then the guard is like, holy shit, he killed himself. And then when he comes in, you kick the shit out of him and leave. And I was like, this is a masterpiece. This is a fucking masterpiece.
Stupid, dude.
Do you remember the story explanation for why you have ketchup too? Because it's really funny.
I can't remember.
Otacon
Enlighten me.
gave it to you because he thought you'd be hungry in your prison cell.
Just eat ketchup.
Yeah. And so like you call him, he helps you get out of the prison cell, and he keeps saying like, you must be hungry. I'll get you something to eat. And Snake's like, get me out of the prison cell. I'll eat later.
Yeah.
And he's like, I gave you the packet of ketchup because I thought you might get hungry in there. It's like, you had access to give me ketchup, but you let me go in the prison cell? Like, what are you doing, man? That's what happens.
It's pretty wild. Yeah. The sniper wolf death also sticks out to me just because it was one of the moments in the game that was actually like, it felt like I was starting to kind of get in the feels a little bit or something. Like, it was like weird. Oh, this is like a moment here that's happening. Like when you finally kill her and she kind of gives like that cool monologue and shit. And it's like, it's all snowy. And it's like just the entire setting of that. I don't want to spoil too much, but like the entire setting of that second fight, fuck that first fight. The second fight though, we were saying earlier, is so fucking good. It's all like the setting of it is really nice. And it's just a fucking cool fight. And then just a fantastic little monologue toward the end.
Yep. Agreed.
Yeah.
It's one of the few emotional parts in the game. Like this game,
Yeah.
this is not an emotional game. It's a game of anime plot twists over and over and over again. But there is that one part in there that is like, they build on that in future games for sure.
Yeah.
A sticky,
Yeah,
ketchupy
good.
mess of a game.
Put that on the box. Aaron, what was your favorite memory?
I really enjoyed the part where Solid Snake got his hands on an elephant, and he rode it through the African Badlands, chasing after Big Boss, and then Big Boss did a sick drift in a Toyota Supra, but then he flipped the car and died.
End of
End of
I think
chapter
that
2.
happens in Metal Gear Solid 5, so you're not too
You're
far
in the
off.
desert in that one.
Awesome.
You're in the African
Awesome.
desert. Is it the African desert? Yeah, you are in Africa, right?
I think it's the Middle East. Is it?
Is
It might be Africa. I don't know. I haven't played it.
Yeah. That's
Either way, I'm right.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I mean,
Yep.
yeah, that's a core memory.
Yeah. Only the best. Kojima.
Dave, Kojima. Dave, have you played the VR missions?
Nope. I did not like the gameplay in this game, so I wasn't going to just do like gameplay wireframe
More?
challenges. No way.
Yeah. So here's a funny story about VR missions. When I started first hearing about this game, probably like, I think I got my PS1 in 1999. And by that time, there was some absolute bangers out for the system. You know, Final Fantasy VII was out, Spyro was out. And then I remember a friend of mine was like, dude, you have to get Metal Gear Solid. I was like, oh yeah. I think I remember seeing this in like EGM or something, like some magazine. I remember seeing like all this hubbub about this game. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to go get
Hubbub Monthly.
it. Hubba Bubba Monthly.
Ooh.
So
What's up to that?
I get my mom to bring me to like some department store, and I'm like, I'm gonna use some money to get this game. And I go and I'm like, oh fuck, it's in a bargain bin? Man, this is awesome. It's only like $5.99. This is perfect. So I grab it, I bring it back, and I'm like playing it. I'm like, this game kind of sucks. What's the big deal with this game? So like I was on like Christmas vacation at my grandparents, like with my family, when I got the PlayStation 1 and like this game. So when I came back, my buddy comes over and he's like, throw on Metal Gear. And I was like, dude, this game fucking sucks. Like a lot. Like, what is the big deal about this game? And he's like, man, it's so good. And I was like, dude, all right, well, I can't pass like this level. So I throw it on. He's like, what the fuck is this? And I was like, Metal Gear Solid. He was like, no, the fuck it's not. This is not Metal Gear Solid. And I was like, well, it is. It says it right here, Metal Gear Solid. And he's like, yeah, the VR missions? What is this even? And I was like, I don't know, man. You told me to get Metal Gear, and this was $5 in a bin. And he was like, this is not the right game. So it wasn't until a lot later
God
that I
damn
actually
it.
played Metal Gear Solid properly. I had VR missions. That's the one that I owned. Did not own Metal Gear.
I mean, technically you did, though. Technically,
I own basically like a training tutorial of Metal Gear
There you go.
challenges.
yeah.
Yup. But yeah, that's Metal Gear Solid in a nutshell. Kind of just want to sing its praise, and we'll hopefully be back to do another episode with Dave to do some more coverage on Metal Gear Solid 2 and 3 eventually.
Rock.
Hope you're ready for the philosophy talk in Metal Gear Solid 2, because
Oh, I'm ready.
it is it's insane.
Yeah, Aaron, you're gonna have to play Metal Gear Solid 2
Oh, shit.
for when we reconvene with Dave.
Is that on PS2?
Yeah.
It's in the collection too.
Yep. It's in the collection,
Oh,
also on
yeah.
PS2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about the collection. Okay. Well,
Yeah, I mean you can emulate it. You can emulate this, no problem.
we don't
I-
emulate here on Retro Rehabs.
Yes, we certainly fucking do.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so Dave, thank you so much for coming here tonight. I know that you're a busy guy and you got a lot of stuff on the go with Tales from the Backlog, Top 3, Butt Rock, Rocks, Butts, all the things that you're you're a first class, top shelf man about. But go ahead and plug and promote all your stuff again, please.
Yeah, thank you. First of all, thanks for inviting me. And I don't know how I became the Metal Gear Solid guy. I literally just played them all for the first time in the last year and a half, but they are fun to talk about. So I appreciate the invite to come on and talk to you guys. It's fun talking with you guys anyway. So I appreciate that.
Thanks, man.
If anyone wants to check out the shows that I do Tales from the Backlog, which again is every episode is a different game in depth. We do a deep dive analysis. It's usually 2 hours. 2 hours is like the minimum for most episodes. Me and Aaron did a real short one. The Resident Evil 2 episode that Gerry was on was almost 3 hours.
God damn.
The one Aaron was on for Pizza Tower was less than 1 hour, but there's no story in Pizza Tower, so
that's right.
That was a short one, but
no philosophical breakdown.
Yeah, a lot of deep philosophical undertones in Pizza Tower that, frankly, they're too advanced for me. So we just had to pass them on to the PhDs to understand what's going on there. But
the Pizza Hut dicks. That's what PhD stands for.
Yes. And I don't know what the H in PhD stands for. So I'm going to trust you. So, Tales from
Physical
the
doctor.
Okay.
If there are Metal Gear fans listening, I've done episodes on Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and 3 at this point on the show, and I'm working my way through the series, so Metal Gear Solid 4 is up next. We can count up to 4 and 5, but there's Peace Walker in there. I also did a bonus episode on my Patreon about the first Metal Gear game. The first Metal Gear game. If anyone wants to check that out. But I do lots and lots of different shows, games on my show, and you can listen to any episode because, again, it's no spoiler for the first half of every episode. Usually at least an hour of no spoiler talk. And then after that, we warn you, full spoiler discussion comes after that. So you can find a game you've been curious about, but don't want to be spoiled on, or you can find a game that you're very familiar with and hear, a discussion about the story and stuff. My show does both.
Yep. Love the format of your show, Dave. So good. Everybody go check that out. Before we get going, though, one thing that we always do is we give what we like to call here at Retro Rehab
Random Recommended Games.
Almost forgot about this little tidbit here.
That wasn't Fred Durst. What gives?
That was me, actually. So, Dave, this is the part when we randomly recommendate. That's a word that came out of my Gerry brain.
What game?
It's a game that you're like, you know what? This is an old game. I highly recommend you go play this at some point.
Highly what?
Recommendate.
There we go. Yeah.
There we go.
So Dave, if there's sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say my recommendation, I think that's the right conjugation.
Recommendation?
Yeah. Is I think that people should play Shadow Tower Abyss on the PlayStation 2.
Yes, dude.
Shadow Tower
yeah.
Abyss.
I just finished
I watched you play this.
Yeah, I just finished it. I recorded my podcast on it. It is a From Software game from the PlayStation 2. So this was before Demon Souls. This was before Hidetaka Miyazaki even worked at the company. This was back when they were doing Armored Core, and then they're doing Kingsfield and other first-person dungeon crawling RPGs. The thing about Shadow Tower Abyss is it is a Kingsfield-like first-person dungeon crawler RPGs, but also you have guns, and it's goofy as shit. So you'll fight goblins and stuff with swords and hammers, and it has directional sword swings, and it has a dismemberment system. So if you're fighting an enemy with a big crazy club arm, you can cut that arm off and then it can't hurt you anymore. But also you could just pull out a fucking M16 and shoot
what
them.
the fuck?
Yep.
Dude, when I tuned into watching him stream this, he was just using a sword or something at first and swatting at these bees. And then all of a sudden it's
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck is this game? What are you playing right now?
You know that meme where it's like the old guy and he's like, call an ambulance, but not for me.
But
And he
not
pulls
for
a
me.
gun. It's that in a fantasy game. That's the game. The thing about Shadow Tower Abyss is it was never officially localized. So you have to emulate a fan translation or play a Japanese version of it, I guess. But the fan translation's fine. It's from software. There's not much text anyway.
Yeah.
So it's perfectly doable, and it's a lot of fun. It's a very weird game, and that's my game that I'm recommending to all of you.
Hell yeah, dude. I back that. I back that choice.
It's
That's
very
such a
cool. Yeah.
yes. Definitely check that one out.
Very cool.
Aaron, what you got? Lay it on me.
Okay, I started digging into more Game Boy Color shit.
You're the handheld guy. You hold hands.
I do hold hands. I love to hold hands, man. It's my thing. That's how I get my rocks off, which thank you for giving me those rocks in order to get off, Dave. Anyway,
You got it.
Stupid joke.
I got a nice soap. I got a nice soapstone over here that you can rub all over yourself.
Yes, please. Yeah, so Bomber or Pocket Bomberman. I think it's Bomberman Pocket or Pocket Bomberman. I forget, but it's like a 2D side scroller with Bomberman. Instead of doing like the top down mazes like typical Bomberman fashion, it's you go through each stage and there's kind of like a different way you're supposed to get through each obstacle. Like you'll throw a bomb down on something, it blows it up, get a power up. Enemies have their own little patterns and what they'll do, so you have to blow them up, and then basically you blow up all the enemies with bombs. A door opens at a certain point in the level, so you have to go back to the where the door is, exit, and then do that for each level. But each level, each different like chapter has different gimmicks they introduce, and it's just a fun little puzzle platformer. And Bomberman,
Might have to check this out.
Yeah,
Bomber. I can never get enough Bomberman. I really
it's
like.
only
a
about
Bomberman
2
game.
hours long. It's very short.
Bomberman's
It is.
super underrated series. Like they
Very.
I don't think they've made one in a while, so I think people forgot. But Bomberman's always a good time.
It is. Dave, I didn't realize that you were a Bomberman man.
I grew up, well, not like, I'm not going to act like it raised me or something, but like we played a lot of
Raised on
the,
Bomberman.
Bomberman's my dad.
yeah. But he's not my father. So Bomberman 64 multiplayer was one that we played a lot when we were younger.
Hell
And
yeah.
that was so much fun.
Hell yeah.
Yep. I'm a big fan of Bomberman. I recently beat Bomberman Hero on 64.
Yeah.
And that was, holy shit, that game is so good. Like, unbelievably good. And the soundtrack, dude.
Soundtrack's
Jameson did I'm pretty sure,
ridiculous.
didn't Jameson do an episode on the Bomberman 64 or the Bomberman Hero soundtrack?
Fuck yeah, he did. If you go to Spotify
sure he
and
did.
just search for Bomberman Hero, it's the first thing that comes up. Always.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
It's awesome.
Oh my god, dude, the music in Bomberman Hero is so good. But I'm telling you right now, dude, Aaron, just go play Bomberman Saturn again and again and again. And
I
again,
always
and
do.
again and again.
It's almost like a
Fuck,
nightly
it's-
routine for me.
It's the best one. It's the best. Dave, have you played Bomberman Saturn?
Nope. Never heard of it.
It's the best one. It's just Bomberman on Sega Saturn.
Oh,
But,
well, that's why, because I've never seen a Sega Saturn in person before.
You know what? I feel like Sega Saturn's getting its like comeuppance now. Like
It's
all of a
definitely
sudden
having
people
a
are like,
resurgence.
yeah, people are like, oh wait, shit, this was a good console, and there were really good games on this, but nobody gave a fuck.
Yeah.
Like for years. But yeah, no, I would highly recommend that. But I definitely want to check out this Pocket Bomberman. You intrigued me on this one. My random recommended game is Dragon Quest 1, specifically the SNES remake that has like Dragon Quest 1 and 2 mashed together.
Mm-hmm.
I came to a conclusion recently that I think I give a shit more about Dragon Quest than I do Final Fantasy in terms of going back and playing all of the games. And I've tried to play Final Fantasy 1 a few times in the many different versions of that game that have come out, but I picked this up one day and I couldn't put it down. It was simplistic, it was charming, and it was it was amazing. And it all kind of started because I don't remember who it was. We had a guest on SuperPod one time.
It was Andre.
That mentioned, was it Andre?
Yeah.
Yeah, he mentioned that Dragon Quest 1 might be the only RPG that he remembers that you only play as one character.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was kind of intriguing. I was like, really? One character? Like, wouldn't that suck? No, it's fucking cool. Because it's like, hey, you're the fucking hero. You go deal with it. Like, you don't talk to Todd at the tavern. He doesn't know what's happening half the time. You fucking go do it. And then you just go. And like, the more you wander around, the more you're like talking to people and they're like, I seen a fucking thing in that cave. And then you're like, you go in the cave and it's like, yeah, I got the shit, but come back later because you're not tough enough. And you're like, well, I gotta get fucking tough enough. And then like you just wander the land. The only shitty part is, and I will say this, that at first I was like, wait, what the fuck is going on here? When you die, there's no saving at a town, at an inn. Nope. You go back to the castle that you start off at every single fucking time. Like, there's no bonfires, folks. Like, there's nothing. It's like you die, you're back at like fucking level 1. But everything, you save your progress and shit. It's just, it sucks when you're like trying to get from point A to point B and then you die and then you got to fucking do it all over again. But it's a really fun, quick. That's another thing. Very quick RPG. I think it's like 9 hours. It's not long.
That's not bad at all.
And it's just a bite-sized RPG. And like, I've realized recently, like, I kind of want more bite-sized RPGs in my life. Like, I don't always need a 40-hour.
Dragon Quest is pretty
50,
bite-sized.
60.
They're all pretty short, actually.
Really? Isn't like 7 like fucking 120 hours?
That's the exception. Yeah, 7 is just insanely long.
And 11, which is also the longest game
and
ever
11
made.
is like 150 hours or some crazy shit.
Dude, like
I
4
love
and
11, though.
4 and 5 you can beat in around 20 to 25 hours, and around like
Really?
the second,
Oh,
it's
shit,
like the
that's
second
good.
or third game, they totally change how you save the game. You just save at a church. 4 and 5, yeah, they're about 20, 25 hours, and then so 2 and 3 are like probably less than that, to be honest.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, go play them. Go play this. Go play Dragon Quest. Go play Shadow Tower Abyss.
Uh-huh.
Shenmue?
Yeah, no, you don't have to play that. I don't know why people like that game.
What? I love Shenmue.
I said it. We got to get out of here. We don't have time for this.
Okay.
Again, thanks, Dave, for coming on.
Yeah.
Go check out Dave at Tales from the Backlog and Top 3. And why don't you tell the folks where we can get us? Where are you going to find us? Go ahead. Go ahead.
You can find us at your local Denny's, just living out of cardboard boxes near the dumpster, right by the grease trap too. We're in that cool sweet spot in between the grease trap and the dumpster. You get those sweet drippings, like, please, sir, may I have more oil? But no, you can find us rubbing it on your face like war paint, like. But you can go to superpodnetwork.com. You can find all of our shows there. Gerry's Super Ghost Radio, SuperPod Saga, of course, Retro Rehab, and all the other cool fine shows like Fine Time, Remember 64, Gaming Together. Check out our blog. Everybody's social medias are on there. Click on a show page, you'll find their social medias, and why not?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for listening, everybody. It means a lot to us. Thank you for following and subscribing to us. We love you. And if you love us, then show some love to the show,
Mm-hmm.
Shoot us a little review or something, or give us a thumbs up on the old YouTube. We're going to hopefully be maybe twerking. I always go to say twerk. We're going to hopefully twerk live on Twitch like
Eventually
any day
you're just
now.
going to have to.
Yeah.
Your heart wants to, man.
And go check out SuperPod Network.
Yeah.
In the meantime, Aaron, I hope that you will continue to stand on the corner to beg for money with Rick the Hamster from Kirby Dream Land 2 to fund your new camera.
Funny, yeah, my camera's been good so far, but Gerry, I hope
It's been good this
someone, please, Gerry needs to bum 5 smackers to support his addiction to sniffing dry erase markers.
I do actually do that in real life. I smell those markers. Anyways, thank you for listening so much. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Bye-bye.